students. I'm Dr. Menchaca Banyulo. I'm happy to be your professor for American Political Thought. American Political Thought, our section of it is from Reconstruction onward. And I actually originated this course a while ago. Gosh, maybe like 5 years ago or so. Because that's the part of American history I'm really interested in. And I'm interested in it because I think it's understudied. And I also think it gives us a way of talking about our politics today that maybe some of the earlier stuff doesn't. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what I'm expecting from you on the first day of the course, and then what I'm expecting from you from the course more generally. So you are in one of the upper division courses and one of the upper division courses in a certain way of thinking about it. And this means that there's going to be a lot of what we're doing that is self-starting. And our first day is actually kind of like that. What I want you to do for the first day is we're going to get our feet wet by thinking about our political moment in terms that are bigger or more transcendent than our moment. So for one part of that, what we're going to do is we're going to use history to do that. We're going to use Rome. And what I'm asking you to do is to watch a lecture, and I'll tell you when to queue up the lecture, with a scholar named Mike Duncan. And some of you might know him. He's kind of a popular historian. He has a really good lecture on the fall of Rome. And I'd like for you to listen to it because I think, generally speaking, Americans share a sense that we're in some type of decline or some sort of difficult moment. And this will give you a tool, a way to start thinking about our current stresses and conflicts. And I'm also going to ask you to listen to a short segment of a Theo podcast where he's interviewing Mike Duncan. You're going to do this on your own, but you're going to do it on your own, guided by discussion questions that I'm giving you. And I want you to sort through those questions and then come to class on Wednesday prepared to talk. What I'm going to ask you to do in the questions, and I'll post the questions and you can look at them more specifically, but what I'm going to ask you to do is to listen to the content of what he's saying. Show me that you understand it. And then you pull out the parts of what he says or what he says in discussion with Theo that resonate with you, right? What are the things about the fall of Rome that catch your eye when thinking about American politics, specifically from the perspective of Reconstruction to the present? When you come to class on Wednesday, we're going to start off by launching into that. And following that, actually starting on Wednesday and then again after Labor Day, we're going to be working with Noam Chomsky on the American Empire. So that's the first part of our course. And it's going to be, kind of a baptism by fire in the sort of analysis that I want you to do. And I'm really eager to hear or to read your thoughts, and also to see you begin to get into discussion with each other, which is something I hope continues for the rest of the semester. I told you, right, what I expect you to do on your own for the first day of class, and then what I expect us to be able to do together on Wednesday. But I think I want to talk to you a little bit about what to expect for the course generally. This course is weird because unlike the other things I teach, which are either completely in the area of law, like constitutional law, or in the area of political philosophy, this class is about political philosophy, but more than anything else I do, it's going to relate to contemporary debates or politics, this kind of thing. And in a way that's really good for us, because it means that you'll already understand why the things we're discussing matter. And you'll also probably already likely have an opinion on them. That's the part I want to talk about. More than in the other classes I teach, we run the risk of treading ground that falls into our partisan categories and debates. I'm not here to engage in that kind of thing. I'm here for us to think like political philosophers about real-time politics. To do that, like I'm saying, you have to have some knowledge of Reconstruction. And all of this is to say that I'm going to ask you to try to privilege the philosopher hat in the course. These things will be more close to home for you. That's good. But let's think about them from the perspective of philosophy. And to do that, that means we're going to focus a lot on analysis. We're going to work a lot on conceptual analysis through discussion questions that are going to be a regular part of your grade. And we're going to focus a lot on close reading of texts. So trying to nail down the meaning of complicated thoughts and how those intersect with certain material conditions or historical conditions. Okay? When it comes to your grade, and you can see this online on your Canvas course, most of your grade comes from your discussion questions. I also have a not insignificant portion of that dedicated to attendance, right? Section of your grade dedicated to attendance. I always say that there are things that come up that may mean you're not able to attend, and we can work that out in a way that doesn't damage your grade. But really, for the course to work, attendance is important. That's why I factor it into your grade. The other parts of your grade are going to be a midterm and a final. And in each case of the midterm and the final, they're in class and they're written in a blue book to get away from the temptation of AI, which I think does you no favors in terms of your analytical capacity. We'll talk about those exams the closer we get to them, but I want to reassure you that in the case of the midterm and in the case of the final, we have a day of in-class review to prepare, and then I allow you to bring in certain aids, right, to help you write the exam in class. So in terms of like the work that you're putting in, the regular work is going to be reading and some sort of discussion question that is supposed to be sending you off in your reading to analysis. Some way of accounting for your participation in attendance is another part of your grade. And then these two different exams, which are both, in my opinion, very accessible, meaning if you put the work in, you'll do well. And I kind of build in doing the work into the syllabus itself, as you'll see. So I'm excited to have you in class. I'm trying to go over all of these little things now so we don't lose time later. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about Rome and the fall of Rome and like how things are for us now. The last thing I'll say is that I'm thinking about how I'm going to get you to collect your discussion questions. And I have some theories about how to do that. But we'll talk about that in person before we come up with a plan. All right. So remember, you should not be in class on Monday. You should be watching the lecture and the interview I'm giving you to watch to work on your discussion questions to come to class prepared on Wednesday. All right. I'm really excited to see you, and I'm glad you're in the class. Bye.